All right, so we're in the argument, and they're wrong and you're wrong, and so now we need to know what to do. And so this video is going to be about how to set up the framework, and then the next video will be about how to say what we're going to say in the conversation, okay? So when we're talking about the framework of the conversation when both people are wrong, we want to do a couple of things, okay? Number one, we want to make sure that both parties are ready to have the conversation. That means you're going to have to ask them, is it okay? Is now a good time to talk about X, Y, and Z, okay? And both parties need to say yes. We are not going to take advantage of anybody if we are more, maybe we're more emotionally mature, or maybe we haven't been busy, so we've had a little bit more time to think about the situation or whatever. We are not going to pressure them into having the conversation when we are ready. We're going to make sure both of us are ready to have that conversation. The next thing that we're going to do is make sure that we have good control over the speed of which the conversation occurs. We want that conversation to be low and slow. We want it to be able to have pauses, for people to be able to have time to think and reflect and make good choices about what they're going to say. If it gets to the point where it's back and forth and it's very rapid, you have a tendency to escalate emotions much quicker. And so we want to avoid that at all costs. That means that we may even have to pause the conversation, that we might have to say, hey, I think we need to take a break, both take some time to think about how we want to communicate this and how to speak to each other, maybe even more appropriately if it gets out of hand, and feel comfortable taking that pause so that you can set yourself up for success and not say something that you can't take back, right? And then before we have the conversation, we need to make sure that we have the framework of our shared responsibility in this scenario. We know that we are both wrong, but we are not equally wrong, okay? There's never, or not never, there's hardly ever a situation where it is just absolutely equal. If we look at this miscommunication at work, I could have worked 3 times as hard on an item and a project or something, and that other person just told me something wrong, and it's not equal from the amount of work to the amount of frustration that they might feel for turning something in. But people will walk into a situation and say, oh, well, we were equally wrong, okay? So we're not going to do that. We're going to make sure that when we go in there, that we're just focused on what we did wrong, and or what part we played in that, and what part they may have played, and we're going to just focus on that future action, okay? If you would like, please put some comments, some examples in the comments that I can use so that I can teach you how to say it tomorrow. I'll be very honest and say that it gets really hard to come up with scenarios sometimes when I'm doing these fake conversations. And so if you'll just put it in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it. And then if you like this video, just hit the like button and forward it to your friends.